if you're going to plan to retire in 10 years, when should you start the M&A process? And I've got my answer, but Eric, I'll start with you on that one real quick.
It used to be, 15 years ago, the answer was started about, 18 months before. But the reality is the face of M&A has dramatically changed in that time period. People are not engaging in M&A thinking about, hey, this is the transaction I'm going to do right before I retire. They're engaging in M&A building on what you just said, Scott, to say, look, my highest and best use is to do X. How do I partner with a firm that maximizes that? How do I partner with a firm that is culturally aligned with me, that is growing potentially faster than me? And what we do is we find a deal structure that makes sense for what phase you are at in that life cycle. So 10 years is not too long, because in a lot of cases, the best transactions we've ever done are when someone has a 10-year time horizon. Yeah. And what we do is we take a firm that might be growing at 3 to 5% organically per year. We swap stock with a larger firm that might be growing at 25% per year. That'll be the best investment they ever made. And it's not related to retirement. It's related to maximizing their potential and making sure that the risk of running the practice is not being increased by their own limitations, right? So we're looking for real, true partnerships over long periods of time. 10 years is not too long. If what you want to do is maximize your value at exit, that's not too long. It's not too long of a time period to start.
And Eric, I want to be a little more nuanced here. I think the firms that we work with that are, $2 to $5 billion, there's nuance in an organization like that. So the timeline, even if you were to try to shorten it, needs to be longer given the complexities and the nuances of an organization like that versus, an organization that may be looking for a partner that's 250 or even 500 million in assets that they manage. So again, the complexities of your organization will drive some of that timeline as well.
And I would also add that is a conversation that our team has with advisors on a daily basis. When is the right time to enter? Yeah. We do not take a one size fits all approach. You may be a candidate at 45 years old to do a merger. We don't, that's the merger side of M&A. It's not acquisition. It's not about selling your practice. There are other firms that are later in career in that fourth quarter that we have to take a slightly different approach with. And it might be a more immediate transaction. It might be more focused on liquidity. So we have to make an actual honest assessment of your fact patterns and your desires and also your limitations to be able to answer that question.
FP at our core is a consulting firm. I mean, there have been many clients that I've had conversations with, and the outcome of that conversation was they weren't ready to look for a partner. There was no need, given the fact pattern that was presented, for them to explore that. So it really is a bespoke conversation with every specific firm that we talk to and analyzing the fact pattern. Again, it goes back to, the consultants that we are here.
And I think that one of the things to add to, I agree with what Eric and James said. And one of the things to add is, from the owner's position, from the CEO's position, you are always looking to maximize shareholder value. And if you are the sole shareholder, then you're maximizing that value. If you have multiple partners, you're looking to maximize that. So the answer to the question is when are you looking? You're always looking. You are always looking. And you're evaluating, can you, with your current firm, continue to grow, continue to do things, continue to increase value of what you have right now? These didn't used to be big questions. 10 years ago, 15 years ago, this was not a conversation that was going on in most firms. And that was because the firm values had not reached the point that they have now. Now, this is a conversation that has to take place all the time. So when do you start thinking about it? Everybody should be thinking about it all the time.